Said I've got myself about 100 family and friends, so a lot of pockets of blue right behind their bench.
For both of these teams, a measuring stick kind of contest. The third game of the year for either side, and Maryland will start things out in the hands of their new point guard, Sarah Tibiasu, last year the A10 Player of the Year from VCU, and that's what they want to see. Kayleen Smeichel getting downhill, Dalsey with the offensive board, and it will stay here.
Yeah, we mentioned 7 transfers for this Terrapin team. You saw 3 of them involved right there in that play. Dalsey from Villanova on the offensive rebound.
This is a reloaded roster, but built around this star, the senior Cheyenne Sellers. A beautiful fadeaway for the block.
And Brenda Frese loves to see her active early. At 6'2", a player that can attack you on the wing. We saw her take it in the post on that one. Solid footwork.
Kayleen Smeichel, big 6-foot guard up there at the top of that full court pressure. She's guarding Jaden Donovan. Delaney Thomas from the high post, guarded by the co-Big East Defensive Player of the Year and Christina Dalsey. They now have 5 to shoot. Reagan Richardson fading away, and Dalsey ripping it off the glass.
And that's what Carol Lawson talked about as an emphasis for Duke. They have to be one and done because something like that happens. Cheyenne Sellers, tough fadeaway on the second chance opportunity. Carol Lawson said we've got to lock up the boards in this game.
Wow, Donovan can fly to the rim. Misses that time in a cold start for Duke here on the road. Poked away. Won't play on with 20 seconds on the clock. Smeichel, a 3-level scorer, might have been stripped, but a foul.
We've talked about all the newcomers. Well, she is Maryland through and through, and she's made a couple of tough buckets early in this game. You see the size mismatch. She's got a smaller guard on her. She's taking advantage of that. She's taking it into the post for a bucket.
Is coaching staff hoping a lighter load?
It'll just help her be more effective this season because she'll be able to go to the bench.
Last season, Dalsey 6th in the country, nearly 5 offensive rebounds per game. Richardson hesitates, puts up the 3 and a long rebound. 1 and done, comes away to Maryland, and they are pushing. Smeichel, not one you want to leave open.
Kayleen Smeichel, you see the versatility. She can attack you. She made a bunch of 3s in her last game. Oh, what a dish. Blue Devils finally get on the board.
Akanawa to Thomas, pushing the pace and catching Maryland off guard.
Yeah, nice drawing of 2 defenders. Akanawa, an energy generator for this Blue Devils team, makes a play.
It is hard to find someone who works harder and is more aggressive than Akanawa. Number 5, here is Donovan beating everyone down. Blocked by Dalsey, one of the best defenders in the country.
Defensive Player of the Year in the Big East last season. One of the best shot blockers in the country. You see it there. Ooh, I'm a little extracurricular. I'm glad they didn't call it a T on that because I saw some officials call it T on a similar play. They're letting the energy flow. What a block from Dalsey.
Reagan Richardson nets the long 2. Maybe Duke finding its stride here offensively.
Look at it. A lot of long athletic wings.
Versatility as well as Ali Kubek gets underneath the defense for 2. Great in transition. We get a wedgie out of a layup attempt somehow. Tell she is pumped up. She has such a personality too. Talking to her, seeing her at interviews. Just such a light, positive, fun.
People to come to the game, throwing out some T-shirts. Looks like they listened.
With the putback is Donovan attacking the glass after that miss. New into the game, Bree McDaniel. She is a spark plug, but a turnover. Jackson going right at Sellers.
Ooh.
And an offensive foul.
Momentum going right into Sellers.
McDaniel, a lot of speed too. She barrels to the rim. It just falls off. Dalsey, a one-woman wrecking crew on the glass, is fouled. And it was something Carol Lawson was pointing out to us where Duke has one all-conference honoree in Reagan Richardson. Where they came from before, they are stacked with how they were able to hit the portal. And part of that was being done in the tournament. A disappointing finish, losing in the first round to Iowa State. This has never been done before, and you're going to see her do this in a game right here in this building.
Yeah, I mean, it's effortless, and it's not like she has, beautiful play, beautiful extra pass.
Tibiasu sizing up that pick and roll, was looking inside for Dalsey. McLean puts it on the deck, will dish it off, a little tight space. Tibiasu, the baseline inbounder, quick swing. Schmeichel might have had a shot, instead puts it on the deck, leaves it short, and McLean is fouled. Now it's more of a rebound by committee, and Coach Lawson has joked, you know, I'm open if anyone is interested in double-digit rebounds.
That Coach Lawson pointed out to us, even though they are returning, 4 starters from last year's team.
They're finding good looks, though. Akanawa to the rim, too much on that bounce pass.
Yeah, that's another one where the energy level is just a little bit too high. Another great drive. You want to come to that jump stop. And Fournier was open. You just got to give her a pass that she can handle.
Tibiasu, dangerous pass. Almost a layup for Schmeichel. Dalsey, another offensive rebound in the putback that time.
I believe that's now 5 for her on the offensive end. Duke has just not located her when the shot goes up.
Akanawa has that rim out. Duke shooting under 35%. On the other side, that was the second personal on Reagan Richardson. Preseason All-ACC, Naismith Wooden preseason top 50. Tibiasu listed at 5'5". Duke with a pretty good size on its perimeter. Akanawa, though, will travel 5 turnovers.
They need to just dial that speed and energy level down by half a dial. You love to have players that are bringing energy and playing hard. You don't have to coach that, but they're a little bit out of control.
Fournier cleans up her own miss, but you can see the hops on display there. She is springy, chasing after her own rebound. Tibiasu looking into the post for Dalsey, facing up against the freshman. Into the paint with power and the finish.
How good has Christina Dalsey been in this game? We've seen her on the offensive glass, but that time just keeping the ball in her own hands and taking it right to the freshman in the middle of the paint.
Fournier reading the defense, slips through, can't convert. Schmeichel, full head of steam to the rim.
We have seen her pretty much be able to get to the middle of the floor off the dribble whenever she wants in this game.
Akanawa, that shot certainly affected by Dalsey. Staying here, though, with the Blue Devils. Fournier, patient, and flips it up at it. Playing in the front court against one of the great posts in this conference. Dalsey trying to save it. It will go to Duke. And Mayer slowing things up with 15 seconds on the clock. Seconds for Mayer. But almost runs into Wood, throws up a 3. And that is how the first quarter will end. Maryland leading 21-13.
In their last game, saying great teams, elite teams need to be great at responding. So let's see how they settle in. As you see in the graphic, they have started to settle in a little bit. But really one area they need to clean up is the defensive rebounding. Maryland is +6 on the boards to start this one.
Cheyenne Sellers drains the 3. And they pick up right where they left off after the first quarter.
And I think right there you see the depth of Maryland. They were able to get Cheyenne Sellers some rest on the bench. She comes in with fresh legs and drains a deep triple.
Largest lead of the game for Maryland. Deep corner 3. That is good. You talk about response. Jordan Wood from long range.
She's a sophomore that Kara Lawson very excited about. She told us she has the 3-point shooting range. Hadn't seen it yet, but there you have it. 6'4", looking smooth.
Someone who played just 5 minutes per game last year, sparingly.
Able to out physical in that matchup to get herself to the line.
And Sellers is so crafty. Will take the contact. And she goes 2 for 2. 85% shooter from the charity stripe last year. Fournier dropping a dime, and Wood a little too strong right at the rim. It's going back to Maryland.
This 1-2-2 full court press, but when they get over the timeline, they've got to slow it up a little bit. There's a steal.
Fournier off the steal.
Yes, but regardless of how this one ends up, I think both teams will take a lot from it.
Donovan sprinting up ahead. That time puts on the brakes for Dalsey and draws the foul.
I think that's how they're going to get back in this game a little bit. Try to get some easier ones. Richardson, really one of their leaders on the floor, on the bench with 2 fouls right now. So this is an easier look for them.
Poffenbarger, one of 7 new transfers for Maryland, taking it out. And another Maryland turnover, back-to-back. Duke looking to capitalize. Jackson's going to reset, handing it off to Mayer. Sellers, former all-defensive Big Ten, guarding Mayer. Donovan has never attempted a 3. That's why you see that space. Mayer in the corner, gets it to fall.
And that was great patient action from Duke. They ran through a couple of different screens, cuts, patient, and find Mayer in the corner.
Poffenbarger in rhythm. That is pretty for the Terrapins. Donovan turning on the Jets, and she is fouled.
And she is just using her speed to her advantage.
6 rebounds a game. Fournier gets a piece of it, but it's going to stay here. Cable, Okonowa in the corner, stopped by McDaniel. Fournier right up against Poffenbarger. She makes the stop and a whistle. McDaniel looking up ahead. Kubek will flip it up. And back the other way, Duke being more aggressive on the glass. In transition, off the back iron, will not fall for Jackson. Fournier on the second attempt, count it! And she will rebound for you. She was the ACC newcomer watch list leading vote getter. In her first game, fouled out in 10 minutes against Radford. Still scored 10 points. That's an example of how she's still learning the ropes despite all the gifts that she has. Cheyenne Sellers in the post. Too small. Duke slowing things way down. Jackson with the screen from Fournier will whip it to Cable. Beautiful pump fake. The pull-up left way short. And good defense near the rim. Schmeichel might have gotten a piece of that. Schmeichel, good look at a 3. She's got it.
And how about that cross-court pass? And right now we're seeing how dangerous Maryland can be because they can score on the interior or on the three-point line this season. Summer Brenda Frese expects them to be much better this season beyond the arc.
Okonowa getting to step along the baseline. Cable weaving her way through with a strong finish. McDaniel surveying as Fournier on her. Dalsey calling for it, gets the angle. She is fouled, was held by Delaney Thomas.
And I think the series history shows just how passionate of a rivalry it was. So Maryland's looking to tie up the series, but really great to see these two teams playing again. Carol Lawson said the rivalry wasn't really a focus.
Give it a look inside, guarded by Dalsey, last year's co-Big East Defensive Player of the Year, trying to clog up that paint. Poked out by Tibiasu, now 3 to shoot. A heave by Jackson won't go. Okonowa almost gets it.
Duke is one based on what they've done in recent years, but this Maryland lineup, I think, is constructed for defense.
Okonowa to Cable, takes the contact, and she'll be shooting 2. On the Maryland side, Taylor Poffenbarger also with 2. Richardson all with 2 as well. Richardson has only played 7 minutes in this game. She's their leading scorer.
Yeah, I think they are really missing her right now just in terms of getting their offense.
Schmeichel pulls up on a dime. Dalsey with an offensive rebound.
You don't get an easier look than that. That's when you make in practice.
Rebound games than scoring games last season. But she brings unmatched energy onto the court, effort on the glass at all times. 8 points, 9 rebounds for her here in the first half. Akanawa travels
and getting the ball back for her team.
Michael working to clear it over. Maryland has had some trouble on their press break. McDaniel looking for some space, forces it up too strong, chases after it, and the lay-in is good.
Maryland has gotten so much production off of second chance points. That's now 13 for them. But if you look at that graphic, Duke has found success there as well. But I think it's hurting them more on the other end in this game.
I think that tells us that these teams are maybe not the most efficient in the first half, but also competing really hard. Jackson around a high screen looking for Fournier. Beautiful pass. Fournier affected by Kubek's defense. McDaniel, pump fake, pull up, yes. And forcing them to keep it around the perimeter. 5 now to shoot for Jackson, skipping into the lane. Akanawa gets to the rim. That was knocked away, and Maryland's defense frenetic there on that possession.
They have Duke frazzled in the half court.
Michael looking for some help. It's stolen again. Jackson with the left hand is good. Tibiasu still finding herself in trouble, and now Maryland getting into the half court. Kubek calls her own number, and that's too strong.
Not sure that's the shot Brenda Frese wants in that moment. It's kind of a rush transition 3 from one of your bigs.
Jackson, long 2, beautiful.
Ashlyn Jackson really stepping up right now with the younger, more inexperienced lineup on the floor. She's been able to settle them down a little bit.
No Duke players in double figures. Dalcine, that was a travel.
And Brenda Frese saying, why? I just said the same thing.
Shot clock is off. Now at 10 for the Blue Devils. Jackson taking instructions from Coach Lawson. 1 to shoot, heaved up by Jackson. Another miss at the buzzer for the Blue Devils, but they bring this in to a couple possessions. Maryland leading 40-33.
For Reagan Richardson to get back out there. She played just 7 minutes in the first half after getting 2 quick fouls. So she's back out there now. She's got to be smart to not pick up the third, but she's got to be aggressive offensively to try to fuel her team a little bit here.
Duke has gotten within 3 2 times. They drill 9-0 to start, but have battled with incredible intensity. Delaney Thomas will drive, kick. Richardson has got it.
Right on cue, Reagan Richardson. Maryland actually went with a little bit of a zone look there. Duke stayed patient, attacked the inside, kicked outside. That has to feel good for Reagan.
Those 2 fouls came in the first quarter, as well as Sellers in the paint. Had that disrupted by Jackson, who stood her ground. Triple-double threat every single night.
Insane. The 2 of them finally getting to play together. And Sloan, just a quick note, Kara Lawson did unfortunately have to take Reagan Richardson out of this game with the 3rd foul.
Dalcine inside with the finish, and you bring up Richardson.
We'll see how long Kara Lawson elects to leave her sideline.
Lucia Akanawa left short. Long rebound comes right back to her. Akanawa always moving, always active, earning herself a trip to the free throw line. Or rather, going the other way. Sellers just takes the lob. We'll push it up. Sarah Tibiasu left all alone for 3. A breakdown for Duke defensively, and the long-range shot goes.
A person that's really going to help in that department, Kayleen Smeichel, has knocked down some triples as well.
Jackson misses from 3. Christina Dalcine, her 11th rebound in this game, and we're not even 3 minutes in to the second half. Tipped around, great defense on the interior by Duke. Leaking out, Akanawa with the finish. And immediately sprinting the other direction is Maryland. Tibiasu taking a break like the rest of us.
Yeah, it's like a pickup game when they get it out that quickly, up and down, both teams.
Lob inside, read by Donovan. She was undersized, but coughs it up. Sellers, Smeichel, yes!
And that That's just tough. That's a head-scratching moment for Kara Lawson to come up with a steal, literally pass it.
Delaney Thomas, little gingerly leaving.
Three-point shooting ability of Kayleen Smeichel. She's now 3 of 3 from deep. She is yet to miss from beyond the arc. Ooh, what a pass.
Akanawa, beautiful on the reversal. Including Christina Dalsey, already a double-double, 10 and 11. And also Kayleen Smeichel. Mira McLean trying to find some space. That hits back on. Taina Mayer into the front court, looks inside to Fournier. The double team comes, and then the trap.
And there it is again. Maryland has started to send two to Toby Fournier pretty much instantly on the catch. Fournier, just a freshman, something she's going to have to learn to adjust to throughout the game. Kind of read where that defense is coming from before she makes her move.
McDaniel turns it over. Here's Fournier, and she is fouled.
That was heartbroken by Toby electing to head down to Durham. Now just 5 of 14 on the day. They missed 10 free throws in each of their first 2 games.
I should mention, too, Cheyenne Sellers going to the bench for Maryland with her 3rd personal foul, but you're absolutely right. You think about the free throws left on the table and layups, too. That's a lot of points. Beautiful on the fast break for Maryland. Dalsey on the finishing end. The 2 transfers connected.
Yeah, Christina Dalsey, we talk about mobile, agile, big.
Mayer looking into Fournier. She can play from the outside, too. And that time leaves it way short. Speaking of, there is Alyssa Thomas. Her team getting to the semifinals of the WNBA playoffs this last season. An MVP caliber kind of year yet again for her.
Yeah, Alyssa Thomas, this program's all-time leading scorer. I think rebounder as well.
Men and women, too.
Great to see so many back. And she's got to like what she's seeing from this new-look Terps team. Ooh, Smeichel almost added on to her total.
Fournier up ahead of everyone. Earns the and one. She is 1 rebound shy of a double-double. Meanwhile, Cheyenne Sellers on the bench with 3 personals. Now Christina Dalsey, who already has a double-double of 12 and 11, has 3 herself.
Yeah, I was interested to see if Kara Lawson may consider putting Reagan Richardson back in the game. It seemed like it was starting to slip away a little bit, but now just back to a 2 possession, so she may leave her on the bench until the 4th quarter. She's got 3 fouls.
Only 8 minutes she has been on the floor in this contest. They're returning all ACC second team selection. Here's Smeichel barreling her way through the lane, and count that one.
And one right back at him. Bit of a back door there. I mean, she's just a dangerous offensive player at 6 foot. The ability to shoot efficiently from 3, and then the power to get to the rim like we just saw there. She's a tough matchup.
Spent her first 2 seasons at Rutgers, all Big Ten first team her freshman season. Coach Frese says she's a dog. She's an elite scorer. Mayer, the step back, way off target. And that will go back to the Terrapins.
De Jesus missed last season, but has been with Kara Lawson since she came to Durham, a graduate student. And there's a steal for the Blue Devils.
And taken right back. Sarah Tibiasu leaking up ahead. Ali Kubek finishes on the left side. From disaster to success for the Terrapins. Smeichel dialing up that defense. Fournier trying to find some space. Kubek fouls her.
For women's basketball fans to get a look at this new Maryland team with 7 transfers, they have to like what they're seeing in the first week of the season. So that's now the first 3 games of the season. They've missed 10 free throws.
Good on the second. Fournier, 14 points, 9 rebounds for the freshman from Canada. McDaniel turning on the Jets, gets all the way to the rim.
She is just so strong in her takes. It's like you've either got to prepare to take a very painful charge or just get out of the way. And they got out of the way on that one.
Donovan up the other way quickly for 2. Smeichel going to find Tibiasu to orchestrate this half-court offense. 2:30 remaining in the 3rd quarter. McDaniel, danger. dangerous pump fake, and she goes up with it. Last season for the Terrapins was their second leading scorer in Big Ten play, and coming off the bench, started a good deal last year, but says, I have to set the tone. It starts with me.
Yeah, I mean, I love her as an option coming off the bench.
An important component and leader to this Blue Devil team, now under 10 to shoot. DeJesus dropping it off. Couldn't ask for better timing from the floor general.
Yeah, beautiful. Just getting to that right elbow, ball screen, and Thomas on a nice roll to the left block. Haven't seen too much execution at that level today from Duke.
They've been working hard, frenzied, sped up at times against Maryland. McDaniel guarded by the length of Jackson, someone who loves playing defense. Poffenbarger, the jab step hesitation. She'll take it to the rim and finish hard with the tumble.
That's just tough right there, Sloan.
Comes back to her home state, ripping down the rebound on the other side. She sprinted the floor. She was all the way down over here. Schmeichel out of control, and it will stay here. And they're shooting 35%, Maryland 46% at this point. Poffenbarger, another strong take, just left a little short. Tracked down by DeJesus. DeJesus played by the feisty McDaniel. Got caught in the cookie jar there, and Frese still smiling for the aggressiveness. It's interesting watching McDaniel because Frese constantly has to have this balance of wanting to let her loose, but also trying to control some of that ferociousness.
Your player back, then try to get people to play hard. So both of these coaches have so much to work with.
Tibiasu bringing it up the floor. A 10-point lead for the Terrapins. Duke has not led in this contest. Found themselves down 9-0 to start, but have tried to claw back. Underneath the defense, McDaniel with a burst to the rim.
Yeah, she has just been attacking the closeouts, getting the defense to rotate, and then getting by them with her explosiveness.
Kanawa calling her own number. Kept alive. She gets her own miss from the other side of the floor. There's McDaniel picking it off. So much energy, and she can finish.
Bree McDaniel has owned this third quarter. She has been everywhere. Defense, offense, finishing.
Largest lead of the game for Maryland, and yet again, final shot opportunity for the Blue Devils. 5 seconds to shoot for DeJesus. She puts it on the deck, leaves it for Thomas. She is met by Schmeichel, but a foul is called. The third game of the season for both these teams, Kim, there is so much passion from both sides.
These are the tests that are going to make you better in January, February, March. You find out who you are as a team, what you need to work on, what are your strengths.
We head to the fourth quarter in College Park. Maryland leading 65-52 in this top 20 matchup.
But she's certainly looking for a response here. Again, we have to mention there's Reagan Richardson with the ball in her hands. Their best returning player has played just 8 minutes in this game because of foul trouble.
Won't be a second chance opportunity. Pushing is Sellers, the Euro, and gets it to fall in transition. Ooh. Donovan pulls up in the lane. Just shots have not been falling for the Blue Devils at close range all game long.
Yeah, Donovan is so quick and explosive. I still think when she gets to her spot, she just needs to slow that momentum a little bit. She's been falling forward a little bit to prevent her from finding the bottom of the net on some of these floaters and layups.
Sailor Poffenbarger misfires from three. DeJesus knifes her way into the lane. DeJesus has been such a great presence off the bench, exactly what her role is for this Blue Devil team. McDaniel threads the needle, and the finish by Poffenbarger, putting on a show for this crowd.
Yeah, screen and roll to exploit a mismatch. Poffenbarger was guarded by the smallest player on the floor, DeJesus, 5'8". They force the switch and get it right into Sailor.
He had a perfect angle of that pass, too. It was a lot of traffic she got that through. DeJesus handing it off to Thomas, and DeJesus has been great facilitating here in the second half.
Yeah, really pretty read and quick decision. Yeah, this has just been a really tough outing for her. I mean, she's just, every time she tries to get into the game, find some momentum, she's whistled with a foul. Coach Lawson, rightfully so, going to leave her out there with the 4.
See how she plays, how she handles that.
A different look defensively for Duke, coming out in a zone out of the timeout, trying to shape things up a little bit.
Sellers misfires off glass. Dalsey right there. Can she get another opportunity through her legs? And then to DeJesus, a 3-on-2 for the Blue Devils. In the corner, Jackson nets the 3 in front of her own bench.
And that's big.
7-0 run for Duke on the road. Lawson challenging her team. How do we respond in tough road environments? It's why they have the schedule they do. McDaniel sets herself off targets, and Duke 1 and done. Richardson playing with 4 fouls. The spin gets to the rim, and that has been the story of Duke this afternoon, missing at close range. Hopping in, Schmeichel, almost a 3-point play, but she'll be shooting 2. Being disconnected from the game or physically having to jump back into things, but also putting aside that frustration.
Yeah, and you also have in your mind to not pick up that 5th foul.
Schmeichel good.
I'm distracted because someone's passing out cookies to the courtside fans. Are we up next? Our cameraman got one.
Are we?
Oh wow, we just got one.
We'll split this one, Kim. Oh, we got 2. All right, 5 to shoot for Duke. Distracting me as well, Kim. Underneath the reversal. Excellently done by Jaden Donovan.
And as we said, there is plenty of time in this game for Duke. They have to get a couple of stops in a row. That is not the recipe.
A 3-point play. Bree McDaniel brings the fire for this team. Appropriate there. All Big Ten honorable mention last year really blossomed, and she's shushing the crowd.
I mean, I don't know how many Duke fans are here for her to shush, but I like the energy.
She is all-out intensity, all-out effort, especially here in a top 20 matchup midway through the 4th quarter. Donovan in traffic forces it up and earns herself a trip to the charity stripe.
Yeah, now Maryland switching things up a little bit defensively. They went to a 2-3 zone.
Donovan to the free throw line, where Duke has struggled today. 11 for 22 attempts, about even. 23 for Duke, now 24-20 for the Terrapins.
Yeah, and shots around the rim today in this homecoming game.
She's 4 of 13 today, all from inside the arc. Sellers puts it through. He can't pause for a second guarding her, especially at the elbow.
No, I mean, she is just so steady, playing with so much confidence right now, anytime the ball is in her hands.
15 points for Sellers. They're led by Schmeichel's 18. She had 20 in their last game against Coppin State. That is a turnover for the Blue Devils. The kind of test here in November she wants for her team. With the foul trouble to Reagan Richardson, never leading in this game and still trying to claw their way back down by 11. Tibiasu trying to get herself free in the paint. Schmeichel's been feeling it today. That's 20 points for the transfer from Rutgers. In rhythm, Richardson, she's got it from 3. Limited by foul trouble today, but coming up here late. Richardson tied up in the paint with Mir McLean. Schmeichel sizing up Jackson. They get the switch. Beautiful give and go. You would not know there's 10 new players on this team.
Now you're taking a step back as Duke continues to answer. Bring it back to a 10-point game.
Sellers head on a swivel with Fournier now guarding her. That's a lot of length in that matchup. Head fake for Sellers. She's fouled before that shot. Can kind of find herself again.
I think we've already seen it. First of all, she's been able to get some rest and spurts. The talent around her going to make her a more impactful player. She may not score as much as she did in the past, but she'll be ready to go.
Mayer goes into the post. Delaney Thomas fading away. Dalsey has that kind of effect. So Duke basketball right underneath their own basket. And you can see a sampling of Duke's schedule. 5 true road games, something you don't see for a lot of Power 4 teams.
South Dakota State, a team that just beat top 25 Creighton at home. That's a tough place to play.
Richardson drains the 3, and that is going to ignite this team.
Richardson has been really efficient when she's been able to be on the floor. 11 points. She's 3 of 4 from deep. If you're just joining us, she's been saddled with foul trouble most of this game. But can she give them a little burst?
Tibiasu with 10 to shoot. Dowsey comes for the screen, weaving her way through. Tibiasu to the rim.
That was pretty. Ball on a string, fighting through some tight crevices. Tibiasu.
She's a scorer, she's a distributor, and now bringing that to the major conference level. Under a minute to play. Richardson feeding inside to Fournier, the leading scorer for this team. See the big smile on Dowsey's face. She knows how much fun she had, but what a great, productive game. She finished with 12 points, 14 rebounds before fouling out after 29 minutes.
The energy, the impact that she is bringing to College Park. I mean, it looks like it has come together quite quickly.
Tibiasu guarded by the 6'2" Fournier. This crowd feeling this top 11 victory getting closer. Tibiasu 5 to shoot. McDaniel a spark plug in the second half. Can't drain it from the mid-range.
Big tasks, certainly a lot of areas to clean up. Unfortunately, this young lady, Reagan Richardson, didn't play the majority of this game with foul trouble.
So they were competing, they were flying around the floor, but just could not capitalize on those extra opportunities as Schmeichel.
Better offensive team in addition to that tonight, this afternoon.
Seek out addressing their weaknesses. And you look at a win like this against the number 11 team in the country and feeling like this is clicking maybe earlier than expected. It's still a young group despite going to the Sweet 16 last year, upsetting number 2 Ohio State on the road. They can take those lessons, including from this game this afternoon. Mayer gets all the way to the rim, 7.8 seconds to go. In traffic, forced in to near McLean. It's stolen. Jackson puts it up and in. 2.2 seconds left.
I think they need a little bit more time on the clock, but Maryland's got to be careful here and get a clean inbound.
Into Tibiasu. The time will run out, and the new look reloaded Maryland Terrapins beat number 11 Duke.